Hello, good evening and welcome back. So of course I'm a fan of Stefan Molyneux and his peaceful parenting tactics. That is the idea of being able to negotiate with your children instead of saying that might is right. And therefore he does not suggest that hitting your children is a good idea, given that then that teaches them that if you just force your way through a negotiation, then you're going to win, you're going to get the upper hand. You're not going to learn logic or rhetoric or philosophy at all, and instead they're just going to learn that brute force is the way to win any argument. However, I am also far more libertarian and think that the traditional values of the parents having more capability with their children is more important than the state trying to bring themselves into family units. So as we have here, Wales to bring in a smacking ban after assembly vote. So a law banning people in Wales from smacking their children has been passed by the Welsh Assembly. And with any of these things, it's like, well, okay, obviously in Scotland, thankfully that they have reneged against it, that they did decide to say, well, we should have a member of the public prison related to the family in any way whatsoever. Maybe even a school teacher decide to step in and say, well, these children shouldn't be with these parents. And seeing as I do believe in the slippery slope of saying, well, here we have abuse, because the idea that we passed around is that you shouldn't be abusing your children. Yes, and we already have laws against that. Whether or not they're actually enforced is another matter entirely. But yes, obviously, children should not be abused, people should not be abused, no doubt about it. But the idea of this is to say that when people think of abuse, they of course think of neglect, starvation, and cruelty and torture, and that isn't where this is meaning to go. With the transgender community, for example, pushing to such a forefront, the idea of this is to say, yes, well, we can't allow smacking, and hey, clearly the government knows best because we have such a good track record, therefore we're going to say, you can't hit your children, and if they want to transition, then you don't know what's best for them, in which case we will take them away from you to some strangers who just want to fulfill out their virtue signaling fantasies. We've never had any children, don't think having children is a good idea, and think everybody should be sterilised, at least in the West where we're already below repopulation rate, and we should just listen to underdeveloped cultures which haven't achieved anything worthwhile, and we should really be copying what they're doing, except for the childbirth. We should just be importing them instead, because for some reason white people are evil. It's never explained. They might throw some things about, but India's enjoying their railway, aren't they? So they say it is the second part of the UK to do so after Scotland, and the ban will begin in 2022. Julie Morgan, Deputy Social Services Minister, said it was a historic day. Yes, historic isn't always a good idea. I mean, the outbreak of the Second World War was a historic day. Invading Poland was a historic day. The creation of the USSR was a historic day. The building of the Iron Curtain was a historic day. That's not something you necessarily want to be attributed to you. The Conservatives, Janet Saunders, said the state was stepping into the private lives of the family. Assembly members passed up 36 votes for, 14 against. So, disconcertingly large support. The idea is, of course, on the surface, like, well, yes, this sounds good. How could anybody against child cruelty? But that isn't what we're talking about here. Ms Morgan had campaigned for years for a ban and broken the Labour whip over the issue when the Welsh Government did not support it in 2015. This is not about the government telling parents how to raise their children or about criminalising loving parents. She said the government had listened to the vocal minority. Yes, the vocal minority, because apparently that's what we should support now, which isn't what they mean at all. Basically, it's just, how can we get statistics to lie for us and make us sound good? Oh, well, let's just pick out this group that sounds good. It's like, oh, how can we pick out these experts that agree with us? About anything you want. If it's then about whether or not we should allow parents to discipline their children and how they wish to do it. If it is about Brexit or climate change, depending how contentious you want to go, then yes, you can pick out whatever experts you want. So the vocal minority, what you're talking about is just your elites, the people who agree with you, so you can fuck off. Who oppose the move, but removing the defence of reasonable punishment is the right thing to do. Finally, something that we agree with in principle. the children of Wales should have the same protection as adults in Wales have. No, because they don't understand what they're doing. When it comes to rights and privileges, it's very much a double-edged sword. So your privilege is somebody else's responsibility. Your right is somebody else's responsibility, to quote Dr. Peterson. And therefore, when they say, well, hey, you deserve this right, or we deserve this right, that means somebody else has to provide it for you. When it comes to family matters, the idea is that they are going into that willingly and wish to support their children. In older age, the children wish to support their parents, and therefore you don't need a pension scheme at all, because the family takes care of itself. That is how it should be going. But with the destruction of the family unit, of course, you need the increase in pensions and so on. But that's not for this video right now. So she added, what we're saying is no physical punishment, not to use physical means to punish our children. She said that could extend to shaking as well as smacking, which means it's more important than ever for children to develop martial arts skills. Japan, of course, is very safe. It's a very safe country. Yes, of course, it's 98.5% homogenous, but still, their intrinsic belief in martial arts, I think, goes a great way to that you understand what you are capable of, and you know that there always someone stronger than you to take you down. If that isn't instilled in children at all, then they're going to believe that they are unstoppable, and that is just going to propagate bullies, because the children know, well, hey, I can't do anything, because if I do, obviously the teacher aren't going to listen to me because they're not paid enough and they really don't care, and the bully is just going to strike me down. If I do try to defend myself, then all that's going to be caught is me trying to defend myself, and that's not going to help anything at all. So, teach your children self-defense, and learn it yourself for going about. The Welsh Government bill passed the support of Labour and Plaid Cymru AIMs. At the Senate debate, Welsh Conservative AIM Jennifer Childers said she was unconvinced that removing the defence was right or fair for Wales. And it all comes down to what parents should be able to do in order to help their children. They mentioned the legal definition of smack, but we don't care because it is a slippery slope. How will the smacking ban be enforced? Considering that a child could just come in who doesn't like the parents and say, oh yeah, my parents hurt me, knowing that I would then distance them from that, not understanding the full consequences of their statement. So the criminal justice system will enforce it. Based on what happened in New Zealand, where smack was banned in 2007, the Welsh Government expects about 38 prosecutions in 5 years. The CPS has suggested the figure could be lower. Prosecutions will be based on evidence gathered by the police. South Wales Police Chief Constable Matt Duke said it would be unlikely people are going to start at vast numbers picking up the phone to report things to us. Good. Police could decide to caution someone instead of taking them to court. Good. They could also issue community resolution orders, which would not go on a criminal record but could show up on an enhanced disclosure and borrowing service check in some circumstances when people apply for certain jobs. Maybe not so good. So, if you travel to Wales, you've got to be aware of the law, even if you're from England. Basically, just abide by the law in the country. What if your child tells the teacher they've been smacked? What do they need to do? The teacher already expected to report concerns about physical punishment. It is then up to social services or police to investigate. So the teachers are being tasked to do more than the job already requires. Schools' procedures are, so as in they now have the whole paternal care in order to take care of their children's health and welfare as well. Teachers are already expected to report concerns. Yep. Schools' procedures and safeguarding might need to be reviewed after the defence of a reasonable punishment is removed. Teaching unions have said their members should get more information on what is expected of them in the future. Fair enough. The government said it did not want to stop teachers from restraining or controlling pupils physically in school if they have to, for example, to stop fighting in the playground. We've been over this. That's going to happen because someone's trying to defend themselves and then you're going to punish them for it. Ministers and the Children's Commission of Wales have said that for the rest of us, whether or not to report allegations of smacking will be a matter of individual judgment. Yes. Don't. But I think that we all know where it's discipline and then when it's abuse, that's pretty damn obvious. And also the idea of the fight in the playground, obviously boys will fight because they need that in order to let out their energy in a cathartic manner in order to do it themselves, in a vicarious manner of just seeing other people do it doesn't quite do it for them. And also through the fighting and also then martial arts training or fighting training one way or another, you learn that through the skill, you can overcome the odds before you're facing at the moment. And if you train hard, you can achieve higher. And just a couple of months of working on your fighting skills, capabilities, and body, you'll see a huge difference. And even with just that small amount of training, you will be much better off than the vast majority of people in Wales, or in the UK, in the West, if you will. And that is a great lesson, because then you get a quick reward for your effort, which you're very motivated to do so, because pain is the best teacher, in which case you will then be able to put that into your other aspects of life. And the willpower that you develop in any aspect of life can be applied to any other aspect of life. It is a transferable skill within itself. But, as always, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think I'm making a mountain out of a molehill? To say, well, no. I mean, violence is bad. At least physical violence is bad, and children should be hit. They should be reasoned with. Or do you think, well, no, the government shouldn't be stepping in, and we can't trust the government to do the right thing because regulations always lead to failure? Always interested to hear what you guys have to say. So let me know down below, and until next time.